start with no. Everything should be no to a customer. If you want more features, no. If you want this custom thing, no. If you want, everything should be based around no in your business first. Obviously the discovery session, which is pretty standard, right? And then with the discovery session though, you have the placement of, okay, even prior to discovery session, you can say, hey, here's what your gi will look like. This is where our standard placements are. You can see the Rayo brand, you can see whatever. How do I say it? So they don't have a choice in changing that, the front and the back, and then you can say, here are the templates. You can place your logo anywhere you want, except for these spots or whatever. So you have the discovery call, and then you also have the here's how it works type thing, right? And then who does the logo? Who does that? And like are they doing the logos? Are you doing the logos? Like, what are you doing?
So I have a graphic designer who does the custom designs.
What does custom designs mean?
Custom designs means any graphic that I need done, he can get it done. And he does the discovery session with me to know, unless I tell him, hey, give me, here's where I'm going, here's the direction. Try to emulate that or try to get as close as that as possible. And so, he's really good at being able to just see my vision. And I love it, but then the client needs to be happy.
Yeah.
So then send it to them. At first they're like, this is cool, let's do all this, and then so we start setting up an order, and then they're like, okay, well, some of the guys just want this and that, and so then so that's where it gets a little bumpy, but
yeah.
But then my manufacturer, once the graphics are set, I send it off to the manufacturer, each graphic labeled where they're supposed to be placed.
Yeah.
And my manufacturer does their own mock-up. Like they'll get a graphic of the gi, so I can present it to the client, a graphic of the rash guard, the shorts, and spats, whatever merchandise. It's a digital picture that looks how it shows them how it's going to look. And then we go through rounds of approvals. But any little change takes hours, because now I have to communicate with the designer, then I have to communicate that to the manufacturer. The designer takes about 24 to 48 hours to get it done, because he's bogged down with other projects, so I gotta find another graphic. And the manufacturer takes about the same time, 24, just because of different time zones. So there's a lot of waiting time. Once I get the feedback from the client, it's probably going to be 4 days till the mocks are complete, and then I can show the client again. And then they're like, okay, another revision, so then another 4 days.
When the guy came back and said, some of my guys want this, does that mean you're making a couple of separate gis, or is it that you're just revising the
entire?
Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, that's cool. Not gis, but the rash guards.
Rash guards. It's mainly because the wife gets involved, and the team gets involved, and so they want to wear something they're proud of.
Yeah,
and it's totally understandable. It's just I want to cut down the amount of time and me being as the owner.
So this is where there's a couple of different things where it's. So do you charge per revision?
I don't, not right now.
So at some point in time, that's where it's like, yeah, no problem. We do charge for revisions. No, it's going to be X amount. This is where you start having these like policies in place and things that are, but they're inviting though, because it's kind of like, hey, you know, some people are good right off the bat. Some people take a little bit of time, so we want to make sure that, you know, everything's customized to you. So we do offer 3 revisions. If you need more than that, it's just going to be X amount. And, you know, sometimes that is, you know, people are a little bit more creative. And so, you know, we allow that creativity and stuff. This is how much it's going to be. It's not like a penalty that you want to frame things to where it's more inviting, you know?
Right. And the reason why I'm giving them like so many revisions is because a lot of the changes are my fault. You know, it's something that I did for them, and I didn't ask them.
Yeah, and that's where you can't, like, I mean, that's more of a creative thing. I used to do that with my websites and stuff when I was designing websites. You literally have to let them shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
And I've had clients where they paid me like $10,000 for a site that I was like, but they loved it. I was looking at them like, you are nuts. Okay, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
You want to have, you know, a dancing Jesus on the front, like a GIF or something like that? That's fine. You do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
It's not me to impose my creative will on them.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, you have to be. This is where it's hard for somebody like you, because you are not only creative, but you're also a leader, and so you want to, like, I know what's best, do this. I'm that same way.
Yeah.
Some people just don't want that, and you just give them what they want.
Yeah.
And so anyway, going back to, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, especially as a new company trying to come up and getting these big academies, like, shoot, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to keep their business.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
Go ahead.
not going against my standards or anything like that, but trying to get the account is that, you know, these are my first 3 academies that I'm working with, and it feels good. But now I'm like, okay, maybe you're a little too picky, maybe I don't want to work with these. But, you know, I just gotta, like, remember I caused this, not them, you know.
Yeah. And it's cool because you're getting to learn this, because this is on everything, whether you're building a SaaS or whether you're building a service or whether you're building. There's always, what do they want? And what happens is, have you read Rework yet? Rework? Yeah. I think I mentioned it before. Rework.
R-E?
Like R-E.
Oh, no.
Work. Okay, this is probably my favorite business book of all time.
Okay.
They're the guys who created Basecamp. They run an ungodly amount of money with like 20 people. And one of the things, it's a very short book, and each chapter is its own like siloed chapter, where you don't have to read the entire book. You can just read that chapter and you'll get something out of it. And one of those things is there's a chapter that's basically like, start with no. Everything should be no to a customer. If you want more features, no. If you want this custom thing, no. If you want, like, everything should be based around no in your business first, because what will happen is you start bloating. You'll offer, not only are you offering rash guards, now you're offering unlimited revisions for rash guards and socks, and then the socks have, like, now you're matching the rash guards with the socks, and all of a sudden, and it just goes nuts. And your business, what'll happen is you'll not be able to fulfill on what your promises are, and your entire company will just go fall in on itself. So people respect people who say no. We do this because it is the absolute, we are the best. I think in one of the previous videos that we did, I was talking about this one guy named Danny, who not Danny we know, a different Danny, who essentially wanted to negotiate price with us and said, oh, I can get my guys cheaper and we have good candidates that are whatever. And I literally was like, cool, I think we're done with the service here and go do it. And he when he realized how hard it was to find people like us, he like literally begged to come back and was trying everything to come back. And I said, no, we're not a good fit. You've already shown that. Now, that lost me a customer, right? A couple $1,000 a month. But it gained a massive amount of respect. And whenever stuff like that, when you have these certain things of, no, we don't do that. You can go to one of our competitors, or we don't do that. You can go do it yourself, or we don't do. You end up having your business ends up being like literally the hot girl at school. Like that's why the hot girl at school is a hot girl. It's because she says no to 99.999% of the guys there, right? So that's how you kind of want to run your business. Is we get the best, you get the best rash guards, the best keys, and everything like that. Here's the process. If you want it quickly, especially now with how shipping is and supply chain is, this is how we do it. We're happy to make as many revisions as we want, but it's going to cost, and some people are more creative, so that's totally fine. It's going to cost X amount, and the more revisions you make, you're just going to be paying more, and it's going to take longer to get your key. How you scale something like that's one. The other is you have people in place who are letting the client choose what they want, guiding them. The client's buying in. You get the wives involved. You get people, all of the decision makers involved at first, so you're not finishing a project and then the wife's like, oh, I don't like that there. I like it over here on this side. And then the husband's looking at it going, all right, yeah, that's good. Yeah, let's do that. And then now switch it over to that side and then just constant revisions. Get everyone there and make it fun. You can even make it fun. So there's that, and then there's things like policies, like where it's like for each revision, you're gonna have to do a minimum order of 10 or whatever after this, or a minimum order of whatever, and so it gets more costly for them over time. But it's not, and like you do it in a way that's never like penalizing. Like for example, with Pro Sulum, it's a certain amount of dollars per hour, and 20 hours a week or 40 hours a week. That's it. And people will say, oh well, can't you just bill me at, like, what if I only use them 12 hours this week? It's not my problem. You can either pay for 20 hours or 40 hours. You figure out a way to use your guy, right? That keeps it from, the nightmare it would be to have people, think of the nightmare it would be to have people say, oh, my guy worked 12 hours. Can you verify that this actually wasn't 11 hours? And hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of customers doing that, saying it would be an absolute nightmare. Or they worked 41 hours, but you charged me for 42. Can you bring that down to 41? No. You get this allotted time. That's that. If you don't use it, you lose it. It is what it is. And if you don't like that, go somewhere else. I'm not saying it in a bad way, but there's something better out there for what your situation is, and you can find it. So I'm not saying it in a way that's like messed up. I'm saying it in a way that's kind of like, could you imagine going to a Lamborghini dealer and saying like, hey, well, that Toyota Prius has cup holders right here. Can you change the design of that Lamborghini just to have a cup holder here? Because that Prius, like, I'm deciding between a Prius and a Lamborghini right now. All right, they're gonna laugh you out of the shop. So, but if you treat your business like a Lamborghini, you're gonna get those people who are attracted to that. So the same guy, Danny, went to one of my best customers and said, "Oh, we're paying this much, and I can get guys, I think, at this much," and yada yada. And my best customer was like, literally said, "Nah, like Dean's guys are like the best of the best," and you have literally the difference between a customer who is a Lamborghini type customer, and a customer who's like the Toyota Prius type customer, and they get the results. The Prius gets the results that it needs, and the Lamborghini gets the results that they need. You know, so there's so many. It's not just a matter of having somebody in place. Because like a BSA, if we put like let's say you and I start working together. You and I start working together, and I put a VSA in place for us. What happens when everything's just the same? It's all loosey-goosey, and there's no standards. There's no like that VSA is going to be run ragged, doing 15 different revisions, and then you're going to jump in and say, "Oh, well, I think the logo should be actually here, and it should be like this," and then you do it, and then the customer's like, "Yeah, it looks great," and then the wife says, "Oh no," and so now it's revision number 16, and 17, 18, 19, 20. It's still going to be the same thing. So you have people. It's kind of like what's his name? Marcus Lemonis says, "People, process, profit." Product. People, process, and product. You need to have the right people in place. You need to have the right processes in place. If you don't have the right processes, policies, things like that in place, you're just going to run into the same problem. And then your product has to be amazing to justify the processes that you put in place. Right? Everyone loves your geese and your rash guards and stuff. Like, they can't stop talking about it. But what everyone does not like, I'll be honest with you right now, is how freaking long it takes.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen is one of two things. You can use that to your advantage and become the Lamborghini. Like, yeah, it takes a long time, and yes, it's more expensive, but one gi is going to last you a lifetime, as opposed to the one you buy off Amazon for $70 and it's torn the next day, which happens. So, or your business implodes because nobody can depend on you. People put a VSA in there, but they have to follow processes. So when a customer comes back for revision number 3, they already know, okay, there's revision number 3. If we go into just to let you know, if there is a revision 4, which is fine, totally fine, it is going to cost you X. So let's make this really good. You know?